All right, guys, welcome to another episode of the Recruiting Board. I'm your host, Grant Chachere. I'm joined here once again by running back JT Lindsey. He's a four-star out of Alexandria High School, and this is the second time appearing on the show. The first time we brought him on, we talked a little about his recruitment and his skill sets, and what's life going on with everything going on in the recruiting world, but the reason why we brought him back on is because over the weekend he committed to LSU, which is a pretty big deal, not only for any kid in LSU who plays football, but also a kid from Alexandria. So, JT, welcome back on the show, my man.
Thank you.
No problem. So this won't be the last time we're gonna have him on some sort of podcast that's involved in Ruger Sports Media, because he's such a great player. And I also cover high school football, so we're going to have him back on sometime later this year. But JT, I just had to ask you, so where did your relationship start with LSU? Because it kind of seemed like it was a slow build-up, and then it just ended with a bang, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I want to say the first time LSU coach followed me was like maybe when we started playing against in the car, and one coach he followed me, and after a while, a couple more colleges from LSU, a couple more coaches from LSU started following me. Then they had sent me the junior day to come. Then went to their junior day, had a great time. Then we came back down for the spring practice last Tuesday, gave me the offer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I think that's the thing. That's the funny thing about when teams go on these playoff runs. A lot of times when you beat somebody you're not supposed to beat, or you show off against a team that's full of D1 recruits, that's when you start getting those random phone calls from college coaches around the country. And of course, your team actually kind of went on a semi Cinderella run. I know it ended in the quarterfinals, but you ended up being Brother Martin, who's the 5 seed. You nearly beat in the car in the quarterfinals. So a lot of times we see those playoff runs. It tends to elevate your recruiting status. But what's your relationship like with Frank Wilson? Because I remember he visited you some earlier this year at your school. So what was that that in school visit like with Coach Wilson? And then also, where has your relationship? How has your relationship grown from there?
It was great. He came down. That was my first time seeing him, first time actually hearing about him and everything. Like he never followed me on Twitter, nothing like that. He came down, asked me some personal questions, and everything like that. Just told me keep my head down, keep working, and it's coming. And it did come. We started building a relationship from there on out. Got his phone number, got his Twitter, and we slowly been texting and been picking up lately.
Yeah, exactly. That's cool, man. And was that kind of the realization that, oh wow, like I might be getting something from LSU really soon?
I want to say really soon because that wasn't really how he was talking about it. Maybe because he was asking me when do I want to commit. I told him earlier, before the season started and everything like that. He wasn't talking about nothing like no offer yet.
Mm-hmm. But you still had you still had a feeling that maybe something's in the works here, because you never really had an instant like a personal visit from a coach. A lot of times you might go visit a school before you get that at home visit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So and so how was it? And I know over the weekend you went to go visit LSU. They had their spring game, of course, and you saw a lot of great players on that LSU team that will eventually end up going to the NFL draft. And one of those players actually is Jacoby Guillory, who actually went to Alexandria. Have you met him before? And if you have, what is your relationship like with him, considering the fact that you guys both have a common bond of being from Alexandria and then also playing for Alexandria?
My first time actually speaking to him or meeting him was my freshman year during spring workouts. I had saw him. I was like, shoot, he's pretty big. Who is that kid? Then they told me who he is. He go to LSU and everything like that. Then I had got his Instagram. We start being mutual friends. Then over the season, he saw I've been doing pretty good, been keeping me motivated and everything. Telling my time is coming, just keep on working, keep putting my head down. And once I went to LSU for my indoor track meet, I met him again. We started having a small talk, ate out a little bit. Then came back, been building a big relationship and everything. He told me that you got this, but to keep working, you're gonna put on for Alexandria. And that's what we've been doing.
Exactly. And what does it mean to commit to LSU? Not only to get the offer, but to just commit right off the bat to LSU. I mean, that has to be a pretty good feeling. Not only somebody from Alexandria, but for somebody who's from the state.
Oh, this feels great, like a kid's dream, really. 'Cause I've been watching LSU football since like a little kid. Love everything about it, the culture, the tradition, the coaching staff. They produce the best players, especially the best running backs like Leonard Fournette, just to name a few. That's what can I say?
What's your favorite all-time? Speaking of Leonard Fournette, who is your all-time favorite LSU player
I
growing up?
would say Leonard Fournette or Odell Beckham.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Odell Beckham was more like in my ear when I was a kid, actually like watching football. Like, oh, nice.
oh yeah, yeah. He's those catches, one-hand catches you saw him make it NFL. Who's actually making it LSU? So like, I remember when he had that viral catch against the Cowboys. Everyone's like, "Oh wow, that's just a great catch." I'm like, "Yo, that was like a typical Saturday at Tiger Stadium. Like this ain't nothing." But JT, I just want to ask you this too, because I should have asked you this earlier actually, but you know, you got the offer from LSU maybe a little over a week ago. I mean, it was fairly recent. But what made you commit to LSU right off the bat instead of waiting it out like a lot of kids do?
Because I know that's the place I want to play football at. I've been watching since a little kid. I know the coach very well. I know what he been developing. I know if I go into LSU, I'll leave out a better man, and I'll be one of the best running backs to ever walk through there.
Mm-hmm. And how was your visit? I know we kind of spoke about the spring game, your relationship with Jacobian, but how was your visit to LSU? And then also, did your visit to LSU also impact your decision to commit to LSU right away?
So I had stayed in the hotel. Okay, I had my tracking meet in Baton Rouge to begin with that Friday. We stayed a night. Then Coach Frank Wilson he actually came over earlier in the morning while we was eating breakfast. Spoke with us briefly, told her things why I should go to LSU. Then I spoke with some of the players after that. Told them why they chose LSU over all the other schools that they had. They told me their reason. They told me that little testimony. I loved every bit of it. I agree with everything that they saying.
What players you speak to?
I spoke to Jacoby, of course. I spoke to my god sister Alexis Giller. She do track at LSU, and I
Mm-hmm.
also spoke with one of the other running backs, number 29.
Mm-hmm. That's dope. And have you gotten a chance to meet with any of the other? I know, well, obviously, you were there visiting, and I know you got to meet a bunch of guys that LSU was going after. But did you happen to meet any guys that were already committed to LSU that may have impacted your decision to end up going to Baton Rouge?
Yes, sir. It's a wide receiver. He had actually switched to cornerback. He go to John Curtis. His name Mike. He signed there. We built a small relationship starting from Tuesday when I got the offer. He was at the spring practice, and he really guided me through it.
Mm-hmm. And besides him, been your relationship like with some of the other guys who have committed to LSU? And have you spoken to Keelan Moses and guys like that who've been committed to
Yes,
LSU for a while?
yes, sir. Keelan Moses, his mom actually graduated from the same high school as my mama, so they already been friends a little bit.
Oh
And
wow.
me and Keelan, yes, sir, we had built a little small relationship after he saw me got the offer. He like, oh, we might as well reunite like our parents did. Now, yeah, you're not lying.
Yeah. So, what's your relationship? That's a pretty cool story, actually, right there. But how long have you known Keelan? Since it seems like your moms have been knowing each other for a while.
I've been on him since I was pretty small. Cause we played against each other in football, like for our little travel ball football team, we played against each other and everything like that. We got a good relationship. We had took pictures together at the spring game, actually, whole family together. It was pretty nice.
That's awesome. That's awesome to hear. And you know, is there anything else you want to say before we wrap everything up?
God is good. And for any athletes out there, just trust your coaches, pitch your head down, keep working, man. You got this. Everything gonna plan out.
Mhm. All right. Thanks, JT, for joining the show. Once again, I'm your host, Grant Chachere. If you can, please like this video and subscribe to Rugu Sports Media on YouTube. And then also make sure to follow us on all social medias. And then also make sure to follow JT on Twitter if you're an LSU fan watching this. But JT, I'm glad to have you back on the show. And we'll talk pretty soon here in a little bit, man, because it won't be the first time. It's not the last time we're going to be speaking to each other.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Have a good one.
You too.